Have you spent your life being kind, only to become an easy target as you age? As we get older, we're often told to stay warm-hearted, patient, and forgiving. But the reality is, if you don't learn to live with more distance and detachment, you might end up feeling drained, manipulated, and exhausted. This video shares 6 powerful reasons why living with emotional detachment after 70 is essential for protecting your peace, not for being cruel. Each point highlights something many discover later in life. Being too available, overly emotional, or too agreeable can gradually erode the life you've carefully built. The lessons here aren't about closing off your heart, they're about being selective about where you open it. They teach you how to give without depleting yourself, how to care without being overwhelmed, and how to remain kind without being exploited. Stick around until the end, because one of the final points might change how you view the rest of your life. It's something most only realize too late, and once you do, you'll wish you'd known sooner. Let's dive in. Number 1, emotional detachment safeguards your peace. The older you get, the more valuable your peace becomes. One of the best ways to protect it is by releasing emotional entanglements that once seemed essential. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means choosing where your care goes. After 70, not every argument deserves your energy. Not every family issue requires your intervention. Not every unkind word needs a response. You've earned the right to keep your heart from being pulled in every direction, especially by people who expect more from you than they're willing to give. Sometimes we confuse love with obligation. True love doesn't demand that you lose sleep over someone else's chaos. It doesn't ask you to fix what was never yours to carry. When you detach emotionally, you draw a line between what affects you and what doesn't. That line becomes the boundary that preserves your peace. You can still care without absorbing someone else's pain. You can listen without solving their problems. You can be present without being drained. Take Robert, for example. He's 81 and used to be the emotional rock for his extended family. If there was an issue, he was the first to respond. But as he's grown older, he's learned to listen without fixing, to support without chasing, and in doing so, he's found the peace he had been missing for years. Living with emotional detachment means recognizing that not every battle is yours to fight. It means walking away from drama. Even when you're invited in, it means choosing silence over stress, distance over damage. When you live like this, people may say you've become cold, but what they really mean is that you've stopped being convenient. You've stopped absorbing their emotions and started protecting your own. And that shift, that's where freedom starts. Because when you stop carrying everyone else's emotional burdens, your own path lightens, your mornings feel calmer, and your nights grow quieter. That peace, the kind that doesn't waver with every message or shake with every phone call, is priceless. Number 2, saying no without guilt preserves your energy. After 70, your time and energy aren't just precious, they're sacred. One of the most powerful ways to show self-respect is by saying no without drowning in guilt. For years, many of us were conditioned to be agreeable, to accommodate, to say yes even when we meant no. But living like that drains you, leaving you exhausted and quietly resentful. Living coldly means recognizing you're no longer here to be everything for everyone. And that's not selfish, it's survival. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you're saying no to something you do want, like rest, peace, or simply doing nothing at all. You have a limited number of days and you get to decide how to spend them. You don't owe your time to every invitation, your attention to every request, and you certainly don't owe your energy to people who don't appreciate it. Take Sandra, for example, who's 76 and spent most of her life as the yes person in her family. Whether it was a ride to the airport or hosting Thanksgiving, she always said yes, even when she was tired. But last year, something changed. Sandra realized that constantly saying yes had quietly robbed her of years of joy. Now she says no, gently, firmly, and without offering explanations. And guess what? The world kept turning. The people who truly cared adapted, and Sandra finally found peace. You don't need a reason to say no. You don't need to justify it or soften your boundaries for others to feel comfortable. Those who truly love and respect you will understand. And the ones who don't? Well, they've been benefiting from your lack of boundaries for far too long. There's strength in a simple no, steady, unapologetic. That strength creates space for rest, reflection, joy, and health. When you stop feeling guilty for protecting yourself, your energy begins to return. You wake up with less tension, go to bed with fewer regrets, and fill your days with things that nourish you, not just others. Living coldly doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care more thoughtfully. You prioritize yourself first so you have energy left to give. When you learn to say no from a place of love, not fear, you start to reclaim the life that's been waiting for you all along. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you do so and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support enables us to keep creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Now let's continue. Number 3, selective empathy protects your mental health. A subtle change happens after 70. You begin to realize that while empathy is a beautiful trait, giving it too freely and too often can slowly deplete your own mental well-being. Selective empathy doesn't mean you shut off your heart. It's about choosing where your heart goes, how often, and for how long. Not everyone deserves the full extent of your concern, and not every problem is yours to bear emotionally. When you allow yourself to feel deeply for everyone, you end up absorbing their pain, fear, and chaos, unknowingly carrying it as if it were your own. This invisible burden manifests as exhaustion, sadness, anxiety, and even physical illness. People come to you because they know you care, but also because they know you'll take on more than you should. Living coldly means understanding that empathy has limits, and you deserve to honor yours as well. Take Gerald, for example. He's 83 now, and one of the kindest people you'll meet. But for years, Gerald internalized the pain of everyone around him. Friends in financial trouble, neighbors in conflict, family members with broken relationships. He carried it all like his personal responsibility to fix. Over time, though, his health started to decline. He wasn't sleeping, his blood pressure spiked, and he lost his spark. One day, his doctor said something that stuck. "You can care, Gerald, but you don't have to collapse." That moment gave him permission to care less, just enough to stay kind, but not so much that he lost himself. Selective empathy means listening without absorbing. It means offering support without sacrificing your peace. It means letting others handle their own issues without stepping in to rescue them. After 70, you've earned the right to say no. Filtering who gets access to your empathy allows you to see life more clearly. You become less reactive, less overwhelmed, and have more space in your mind for what truly matters: your health, your joy, your passions, and your legacy. Those who truly care about you will respect your boundaries, not question them. There's grace in this kind of detachment, a quiet, protective grace. You're not shutting others out. You're simply clearing your mind, stabilizing your emotions, and preserving your spirit. You're creating space to be happy without constantly drowning in everyone else's pain. And that space, that's where your mental well-being begins to thrive again. Number 4, protecting your time strengthens self-worth. After 70, time becomes sacred. Each hour feels more significant, each day more precious. Every moment has the potential to either uplift you or drain you. That's why one of the most important things you must stop freely giving away is your time. Guarding your time isn't selfish. It's an acknowledgement of how valuable it truly is. When you live coldly, you're not rejecting people. You're simply no longer offering your time to things or people who don't deserve it. Think about how often you've said yes to something and then regretted it. Sitting through conversations that drained you, running errands that weren't yours, attending events that left you feeling isolated instead of connected. It's easy to think that being generous with your time makes you a good person, but being intentional with it, that's what makes you wise. Take Helen, for example. She's 78 and used to fill her calendar with every invitation that came her way. Church meetings, family obligations, social clubs. She was always busy, always involved, but she started to notice something after those long days. She didn't feel fulfilled. She felt drained. One day she asked herself, what in my life actually brings me joy? The answer was not much, so she started saying no, clearing space and choosing her moments more carefully. Now Helen's schedule is lighter, but her spirit is fuller. Your time should reflect your values. It should nourish your body, mind, and heart. If it doesn't, it's okay to step back. You don't need to justify it. You don't owe your time to every call, text, favor, or event. People who truly respect you will understand, and they'll never make you feel guilty for protecting your time. You'll also begin to notice which relationships are one-sided. The people who call only when they need something, but never ask how you're doing. When you guard your time, you shine a light on what's been draining you, and once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. There's peace in a quiet day with no obligations. There's healing in choosing how to spend your morning instead of letting others dictate it. When you stop letting others consume your time, you reclaim your worth. Every time you say, "I'm not available for that," what you're really saying is, "I value myself." If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you do so and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support allows us to keep creating meaningful content to inform and inspire you. Now let's continue. Number 5, saying no protects your personal boundaries. There's a unique strength that comes with age. Not necessarily physical, but spiritual. One of the clearest signs of this strength is the ability to say no firmly, kindly, and without guilt. After 70, your boundaries go beyond preferences. They become protective shields. Shields that defend your peace, dignity, and your freedom to live life on your own terms. Living with emotional detachment means understanding that protecting your space isn't rude. It's essential. Many people confuse kindness with being available all the time. If you've always been dependable, the one people can rely on, you might have experienced the slow erosion of your own needs over time. You say yes when you want to say no. You agree to help when your body craves rest. You tolerate behavior that crosses a line just to keep the peace. But peace that comes at the cost of your boundaries isn't peace at all. It's quiet surrender. Let me share the story of Louis. He's 81 now, and for most of his life, he was the rock of his family. Reliable, calm, always saying yes. But over time, Louis realized his generosity wasn't being respected. It was expected. If he ever declined an invitation, people were surprised. If he voiced a concern, it was ignored. One day, Louis started saying no. He stopped answering calls that only came with demands, and he began setting clear boundaries, even if it disappointed someone. And something incredible happened. He felt free. Not angry or bitter, just free. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors with locks. You decide who gets in and how far they can go. Saying no doesn't mean you're cold-hearted. It means you're protecting what you've spent a lifetime building: your energy, your values, your peace. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. People quickly learn who they can and can't take advantage of. When you begin to say no with confidence, you'll notice that the users start to fade away. And that's a blessing, not a loss. You'll also see that your boundaries reflect your self-respect. You're not here to entertain guilt, serve every request, or solve every problem. You're here to enjoy the years you've earned, and that requires drawing clear lines and sticking to them. There's courage in this kind of detachment. Not the kind that pushes people away, but the kind that pulls you back to yourself. At this stage of life, protecting your boundaries isn't a choice. It's necessary for survival. And every time you honor those boundaries, you reclaim another piece of yourself. Number 6, detaching from outcomes brings real peace. There's a quiet power that emerges when you stop trying to control everything. After 70, one of the most freeing things you can do is let go of the need to manage how others behave, how situations unfold, or how people respond to your choices. Living coldly isn't about being indifferent. It's about emotional clarity. It's realizing that your peace no longer depends on things going your way, and that in itself is a form of mastery. When we're younger, we waste energy on things beyond our control, trying to fix people who don't want to change, overthinking our words, or dwelling on mistakes and regrets. But with time, we learn that no amount of worry improves an outcome, and no overfunctioning brings lasting peace. Detachment isn't about giving up, it's about stepping back so you can breathe. Take Eleanor, for example. At 84, she used to worry endlessly about her children's decisions, but she realized her worry wasn't helping them. It was harming her. Now she offers advice only when asked and trusts them to figure things out. Her mind is calmer, her body lighter, and she smiles more. Not because life is perfect, but because she stopped trying to control what wasn't hers to manage. Detaching from outcomes allows you to reclaim your time, energy, and joy. You stop chasing approval or fixing everyone's problems. You learn to let go and stay grounded, regardless of others' actions. Living coldly doesn't mean closing off your heart or building walls. It's about choosing clarity over confusion, peace over pleasing others, and boundaries over burnout. It's about putting your well-being at the center of your decisions, not because you've stopped caring, but because you've started caring about the right things. What resonated with you most? Was it stepping away from overgiving, embracing silence, or detaching from what you can't control? Whatever it was, hold on to it. These aren't just ideas. They're tools you can use today to live with more strength, peace, and authenticity. Living this way takes courage at first, but with each boundary you set, each pause before reacting, and each time you honor your needs, it becomes easier and more rewarding. This stage of life isn't about winding down, it's about refining. You've earned your place, and now you get to decide what matters. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you.